Alright, so I'm going to try my best to go over and explain the new dungeon with the encounters and the mechanics and try to help you guys understand and just play it through. It's not that bad. It's pretty fun. Some pretty good weapons you can get. Drop permit armor, not so much. And the exotic is a random drop. And once you do dungeon one time, master version unlocks, which would be 1590, and it's kind of scary looking. So we're going to go over with the mechanics and show you guys how that works. So there's some terminology here. When we're in this plane, I'm gonna call it the blue area, and then when you shoot the bell, we obviously be called the red area. So the main mechanics, these bells here. When in the blue area, anytime you shoot the bell, it will turn, and wherever you're standing, you'll teleport to the red area, right? It doesn't anywhere you're standing, but red area. If you shoot the bell in the red area, you have to be near the bell for it to teleport you back to the blue area. So if you hit the bell from here, for example, everybody will die. Anybody standing in it will survive, but anybody around it will die. So there'll be many mechanics, encounters where it's going to require you to be in it, and everybody has to be there at the same time for it to be to finish the encounter. So that's how that works. That's the basics of it. So we're going to go overhead and show you guys the first encounter. Alright, so the first encounter, very simple. You start in the blue area, but we're going straight to the red area. Now, what's going to happen is that you want to have two people go to the rooms in the corners in the red area, and they should be able to find some enemies to kill. You're looking for enemies in the rooms. I'm not sure they're all in all rooms, but once you clear the room, an essence will spawn at the front of the room. You want to pick it up. I think only one at a time. You can pick one at a time. You can't carry two at the same time. If you die, you lose it. So you want to make sure you don't die with that buff on. Now, there will be belltakers or caretakers, whatever they're called. You want to make sure that one person who's not doing the doors is out there making sure and killing those two. If you don't kill those, you won't be able to leave this area. It goes back to the blue area. So you want to make sure that somebody's focused on that while other people are picking up SSs. And then once you're all good to go, just communicate and just shoot the bell to go back to the blue area. Now, when you're in this area, whatever symbol you picked up, you want to go ahead and go to that room and open that door. There'll be enemies that spawn. You want to go ahead and clear those enemies to make it, to be safe inside there, as we're going to need to be in there. Now, once we clear the enemies and make sure everything's good, make sure the belltakers are dead, you'll see that Galaran shades return. Once you open the door and you clear the room, you go ahead and kill these belltakers real quick. And so what you're going to need to do with that, once the doors are open, people who open the doors, they don't have to be, but they have to be in the door. And when they're being inside of that door, when you go to the red area, because depending on where you're standing, you go to that exact spot in this red area, right? So now the people who are in the door areas in the red now, they'll be killing these Galrans that are just shades, and if they kill all of them, once you kill all Galrans, then you can do DPS phase. The person outside wants to make sure and just kill the belltakers, because you only have the amount of time that everyone takes to kill the Galrans, the amount for DPS. So now we have DPS phase. As you can see, Galran's invulnerable. Now the guy outside can now do DPS while everybody else comes back out and tries to do damage to the first boss here. So use whatever you like to use. Just keep bursting down. But you remember, you have about, depending on how long it takes for everybody to kill the Galrans in the doors, that's how much time you'll have left to do damage outside here. So right now we're about 18 seconds, 17 seconds, and now the bell is ready to go because we killed the belltakers. We're now like, okay, 10 seconds left. Okay, we gotta go, right? So now we gotta run back. At least if one person makes it out, it's fine. Just because if you do die, you can revive them in this area, the blue area. So that's pretty much the mechanics. Pretty simple. Just gotta make sure that you're killing the belltakers, bellkeepers, whatever, so that you can return back when you're doing DPS. Just make sure everybody has their own role. 2 people indoors, 1 person outside. Person outside kills the bellkeepers, and then wait for people to finish killing the Galran shades inside the doors, pretty much. So my job was just killing bellkeepers, and that's it. That's pretty much it. And that's the first encounter for you guys there. just rinse and repeat the next phase. So just loot. I got the fusion rifle from Opulence, and that's it pretty much. Okay, so now we're in the find the way room, and all you need to do for this room is be in the red area, and there'll be buttons behind these statues here. When you activate these buttons, it will spin the statue in the blue area. You have to spin it where all the swords, the Galran swords, have to be pointing to the middle in the blue area. And they rotate, I don't know what direction they rotate in, left, I think, or right. I think it depends on the way it spins. So it'll be turning right for that one. And you have to check by going back to the blue area to see which ones, but all of them has a button. You have to spin it into the direction that's correct. And then once you get to the middle, then it unlocks the area, the door below, basically. So that's pretty much it. Just gotta make sure it's all the statues are facing towards the middle in the blue area, and the red area just makes it rotate. So that's pretty much it for this area. Okay, so second encounter. This one's a bit similar to the first one. I mean, most of the time it is. What we're doing here is we're gonna have two symbols that pop up, and there's still the four corners of the map, and the four corners of the map has symbols on the walls, and that means that that's the staircase. You have to go up and defeat every enemy in that corner up the staircase, and then eventually a standard bearer will spawn, and then you kill that standard bearer, and then it'll drop the essence for that one. And then once you do that, then you go back to the bell and back to this room and kill the boss. There's 3 different bosses. The bosses are very weak. You do not want to use up all your resources to kill the one boss. It's a 3 different bosses you have to kill in this one encounter. It's like a vault. You'll understand once you see it. But those corners, those walls right there, you can see they will have symbols behind it, and you have to go to it when whatever symbol is going to be showing over here. So right now it's sun and dog, so there'll be a dog or sun on those walls. So first things first, from my perspective, you're watching, is I'm always killing the bell keepers. That's my job for the most part. As long as I'm the one doing that, it's fine. So the bell keepers, they spawn on the bottom floor right there, right? Either on that side or this side I'm on right now. You have to kill those guys to have the bell active, pretty much. So right now, we're communicating to the team where we're trying to make sure that we're prepared to go to the red area. There's no time limit to being here. There's no rush. The ads will keep spawning, pretty much. So as long as, you know, we kill the bell keepers here, we can go ahead and use the bell. So the bell is ready to be rung, and we set up making sure that everybody's in the right spot. Dog and sun. So dog is over there, and sun is ready to go. Well, I don't have to be up there technically, but yes. So we shoot the bell, and then they will go up the staircases, while I, as a bell keeper killer, I go ahead and try to kill the bell keepers to make sure that when we have the essences, we're ready to leave and not have that worry of wiping when the timer runs out. Like I said, every time you kill a standard bearer, it will increase the timer. If you kill both bell keepers fast, you can go ahead and help a teammate that needs some help to clear the area faster, so you guys can leave faster, pretty much. As you can see, one of our teammates killed and got the dog essence. Now that they go ahead and both head back, because if you die with the essence, you lose the essence. So you don't want to die while having the essence active, and you want to make sure you're both together so that you can teleport together. If somebody's on essence and they're far away, I mean, they can just die, but, you know, flawless, I guess. That's what you care about. And you just revive the person back. So now they deposit both of these essences in, for the most part. But I think in this run, we only got 1 essence. So we have to go back to the red one, and we couldn't do boss DPS right now. And what happens is that you can only go, the bosses, they rotate. There's 3 different bosses, right? And there's a limit to how much you can do bell ringing. It's 3 per boss. So you can only ring the bell 3 times. After the 3rd one, you lose if you don't get the boss DPS down, pretty much. So the first one we messed up. We only got 1 essence. You can get 2 in one run if your team is separated and doing pretty well. But if you are doing it, you know, if you're doing it solo, you can't pick up one essence, right? So you do it twice. This thing twice, right? But if you do it 3 times, you're gonna be on sudden death basically, and then it'll wipe after that pretty much. So kill both bell keepers to make sure we're ready, and then both in the sun area, you're gonna get the essence killing. See, standard bearer spawned, and then you're gonna get the essence up there at the sun area. Make sure you clear everything, and then they come back. We all go back together, and that's it. Do it 3 more. Just do it 3 times, and then you're good to go for the encounter. It's pretty simple. Nothing too difficult with this encounter. I'll be honest with you. It's pretty simple stuff. Let's make sure all together, and then you're good to go. And then you put it in, and then you do DPS. For example, like this. Then we do DPS. He's very, like I said, very weak. Don't need to use like all your resources on them. They're supposed to be weak because there's 3 different bosses. So like there's basically 3 different health bars per encounter here. So he dies, and it says something clicks the vault door. A new boss will spawn, and new symbols will appear, and then you do it again. But make sure getting 2, you can get 2 at the same time, and it will speed up the process. This is probably the easiest encounter out of all the encounters for this dungeon, for the most part. So final boss for the encounter here. He flies around. There you go. And then loot at the bottom of the vaults opening up, pretty much. Just like so. I got the SMG, which was pretty nice. And finally, the final boss, Kaido, Nightmare of Kaido, Princess Imperial. Very simply, as you've been doing the entire time, you want to go ahead and look for 2 symbols in the middle of the room, usually in the back left or back right, and there will be these pillars on the top, on the walls, both sides of the walls. It'll be a chalice, dog, axe, and sun, and you get to go ahead and clear the belltakers. In this, you're not all of them, just most of them, and point out to your team, okay, we need axe and we need sun. So they're gonna go ahead and stand on those platforms on the walls, and when they're ready, then you shoot the bell. So you go to the red room, red world, red area, right? So I'm waiting for my team here. Gonna go back, get into the positions, and once they say they're ready, then we go ahead and start the red area. So my job, as always, bellkeepers, what they're doing is that they're spawning on a scion. The scion is going to spawn, when they kill it, it's going to spawn essence that they need to pick up. Killing a scion will increase the time of nightmare collapsing. You have like 10 seconds to start when you do spawn in for this. So making sure that the person kills as a decent fast time of killing that standard bearer, then that's good. Now there'll be 4 care bell keepers on both sides of the map. Just make sure the person can kill both of those as fast as possible, and it'll choose one of the locations of the bell, either middle, left, or right. Now, once you go back to this room, the people have to deposit. So we go a little bit safe, and once the 2 people deposit both the symbols, the 2 new symbols will pop up. Could be the same ones, but it'll be in a different area. So that was on the right side, now on the left side. So now we're gonna find out, okay, we need chalice and we need sun. So we're gonna go ahead, kill the bell keepers again, so that the bell is available to shoot, and then the people have to stand on these right symbols that you would normally stand under, pretty much. So we're gonna go ahead and do that real quick. So that's okay, chalice, sun. So we'll wait for my team to go ahead and do that. Chalice, sun. And then they're ready, so I shoot the thing, and then I, as a bellkeeper killer, I go kill the 2 bellkeepers in the middle. Pretty much, try not to die. I think I might die, I actually don't know. Our teammate died, but he didn't pick up the essence, so that makes it where we don't have to do this part again. But there are 2 colossus that do spawn, so we just ignore them, but they don't hurt that much. Up to you of how you see when if I deal with those guys. So now the bell is really wrong as we kill the bellkeepers. Spawn on the left side, whatever. Then now we're going to be heading to DPS phase. DPS phase here, we're going to go and let them deposit both the essences, and now the chains on the bell will be glowing red. To start the damage phase, you have to shoot the chains and then they'll hit the big bell on the top there. But there are ads here. They will keep spawning as much as they can, but the bellkeepers won't keep spawning. But the rest of the ads will keep spawning. So when your team is ready, you go ahead and shoot one of the chains here, and that will go ahead and you swing the bell, and it'll start DPS phase. Now, very important, before you get in here, you have to go ahead and kill the bellkeepers and watch where she's walking. Depending on where she's walking, you have to kill the bellkeepers for that bell. She's walking into middle right now, so now you can go ahead, and when she walks near it, well, I died, but when she walks near it, you can go ahead and stun her. If everybody near the bell will get a damage buff for 10 seconds, and she'll be stunned for 10 seconds. This is where you can do the most DPS. I died, so I can't do DPS, but this is where to time it correctly. So now she's coming over here. The bellkeeper is already dead. You can stop her from moving by making her stomp, but you gotta be careful. You wait, and then you let her come. And now she's stunned again, and we do DPS with the buff here, walking renaissance, and then when the timer's running out, okay, then we head back to the last bell for another 10-second buff. So you watch her walk. If you get her stomp, she'll stop moving. Get ready for her, and then stun her. She's stunned. We get the 10-second buff. Shoot as much as you can. And then once those 3 bells are over, then it goes back to getting back to DPS phase, and you do it all over again. You know, so that's it. That's the phase. That's the encounter. Get the bell. Make sure she doesn't get too close. If she gets too close, she leaves and she runs away. So you have to get her close enough, and you have to be next to it as well, so that you can stun her and get the damage buff to do more damage for 10 seconds. So you have 30 seconds of DPS when you're in that phase. So that's pretty much it. That's the boss. That's the dungeon. Like I said, exotics from grinding, and yeah, that's it. It's very hard to wipe on this map. It's very hard to wipe. It's very open, and you should be pretty safe and in the back most of the time. So boss kill at the end here, just to show you guys finishing it. And this is all LFG. I don't know these people. That's it. You get teleported back to the real world, and then 2 loot drops, armor and pinnacle, whatever. I didn't get the exotic drop, but another fusion rifle. That's fun. So hopefully you guys find this helpful. I don't know, timestamps, everything will be hopefully explained pretty well. Remember, write it up as well, but hopefully this helps in some way and form.